what I'm going to try to do with my lesson is I want to try to tie the end of 2025 to the beginning of 2026 through this lesson. And it's going to be kind of a practical lesson today to offer before we jump into like the holiday season and kind of down that slide into the new year. Just want to kind of keep everybody informed. So here's what I know. Each of us are on this spiritual journey, this road trip of life that we've been talking about all year long as we heal and evolve. And as I said, we've been exploring this concept all year in our theme, navigating life in the spiritual lane. But what I know happens is that sometimes when we're investing time and effort into growing, we look around and we realize that we're living in a new world in some ways. You know, sometimes the things that we used to think were funny are just not quite so funny anymore. Or the things we used to judge are now somehow accepted just kind of as a part of life that's shown up to teach us something. The way that we defined God or spirituality or church or faith or truth have changed, and new definitions and words are in our vocabulary. The people we used to hang out with don't seem to fit anymore. We talked about this in Sacred Cup this morning, so I know that some of you can really relate to this idea. The bottom line is that somewhere along the way, as we're driving this road of life, the idea of home has kind of been redefined. And I hope that you've experienced this phenomenon for yourself as you've kind of climbed that spiritual spiral staircase of consciousness and awareness. See, personal growth is kind of like driving to a new place on the road of life and deciding whether or not you can kind of make it your home. So think about that for a second. If you were to drive into a brand new town and immediately kind of feel some investment in this place and begin to wonder if you could live there, I think there are several things that you would want to do before you start unpacking to get yourself settled, right? So this thing happened to me twice in the late 1990s. So over the course of 2 years, I traveled to 2 different cities and felt really drawn to both of them. The first one was to Tampa, actually. I came here to sing in a choral festival, and as I walked the riverfront down by the convention center in that area, I thought to myself, I could live here. I could hang out here. It's pretty interesting. And the second time, I traveled to Seattle for a business trip. And I was walking along the bay. Maybe there's something about walking along water. I don't know. But I thought to myself, this kind of feels like home for some reason. And as most of you know, I ended up living in Seattle for a while, and here I am in Tampa, right? I followed my intuition, and I made a choice. But before I could decide on either place, I had to figure some things out. And I think you would want to too. And if I was going to choose again at this point in my life, my curiosity would be kind of skewed toward spirituality and my continued desire to grow and to learn. So first, if you came upon this new place, you'd want to get out of your car and walk along the riverfront, but get to know the natives, right? And the people who are already living there. Is this place a friendly place? Is it welcoming to new people? Does it make me feel better being here amongst these townsfolk or whatever? Do I sense that I could find some friends here? And now that I've decided to wake up spiritually in my life, are these people that could help me on that path? Those are the kinds of questions that are likely running through your mind in this scenario, and they need some answers to help you with your decision of whether or not to claim this new place as your own. And second, you'd want to kind of observe the culture and customs, right? Like, what is this place all about? Are the streets clean, and do they use the resources wisely, right? What are the laws, and how are they different from where I used to live and how they live here? And what are the people like here like doing for fun? And do I like those kinds of things too? And what are the customary celebrations and festivals and all of that that go on in the traditions? I want to make sure that I can have the kind of fun here that I like to have fun and celebrate things that I like to celebrate. Who are the leaders? Do I think that I could trust them enough to like become a neighbor of theirs? That certainly sounds like a reasonable direction of inquiry, don't you think, when you're deciding on a new place to be? And third, you'd want to check out the possibility of this place being a good place for you on every level. Does it feed your mind? Does it feed your heart, your body, your spirit, right? How does the spirit of light and love show up here? Does my soul feel that surge of familiarity in this place, since I know that my soul wants to expand and be more loving, and growth like that occurs best in safety and belonging? So basically, can I see God or good or peace or joy available for me in this place? Would my uniqueness and individuality find space to simply be loved here? If you haven't picked up on my analogy, I'm talking about deciding on a spiritual home. Those are the same questions to ask whether you are choosing a new physical home or a new neighborhood, or if you're choosing a new spiritual home for yourself, right? So when I went into all the different spiritual centers that I've been in, and starting with the CSL in Seattle, and I ended here basically, I asked those same questions before I decided to, invest my heart and my time and my energy. And then I settled in to grow and learn and connect. So let me see if I can give you some information to help you answer your own questions about this place where you are right now. So back in October, we gathered almost 20 members and leaders at a virtual retreat where we broke out into small groups and we explored the topic of who do we know ourselves to be? Raise your hand if you were in that group. There were hands all over, right? So we spent nearly an hour talking about who we know ourselves to be and who we want the world to know that we are. See, we were specifically planning on introducing our community to our organization's spiritual leader, who's going to be here next week, Reverend Sonny Cantrell. And we were getting ready for that special visit, and we wanted to think about for a second, who are we? So a few weeks ago, I was reading back over my notes from that discussion, and I realized that these are the very things we want our current members to know, our friends to know, and who we want to show ourselves to be to those choosing a spiritual community in the upcoming year and beyond. So since I have an audience of just those people right here in the room and online for that matter, I want to tell you more about Center for Spiritual Living Tampa Bay from the perspective of the leadership team learning to work together to co-create the most inspirational and loving spiritual community that we can. So here are some of my notes from that discussion. First, we know ourselves to be a place where we teach how to live life sweeter through spirituality. In our teaching, we encourage questions. Bring your questions. Bring your curiosity. We have no dogma here. Here you can explore your own beliefs and where they came from. Here you can be with others who are working on finding their own personal answers to the biggest questions of life, like, who am I? What is God? What is the purpose of my life? How can I connect with a higher power to help me improve my life? How can any of this help me thrive in this chaotic and ever-changing landscape that I live in today, that I'm driving my car through right now? Every time we get together, you can learn more and more about how your thinking is impacting the quality of your life. And that was the first thing we knew ourselves to be, a place to learn spirituality. And to help you work on those questions, we know that we offer a varied way to engage in spiritual explorations. What do we offer? We offer meditation. We offer classes and book studies and casual conversations and big discussions, and this thing that we do every Sunday morning together as we celebrate Spirit and our connection to it. And over the course of the year to come, we're going to be offering all those different kinds of things, ways to learn and connect and transform together with others doing the same thing. And another thing about our community that we came up with is we create opportunities for people to serve and volunteer both here and in the wider community to make a difference for ourselves and others. So in the year ahead, we're going to continue to provide volunteer days in the external, wider Tampa Bay community. And we'll be encouraging our long distance people to volunteer and make a difference in their own places that they live. And when we talk about what we're doing, we want to hear what they're doing too. And we also give you an opportunity to serve and volunteer right here, because we know that friendships and meaningful connections are made when we work together for common goals. And that leads to another thing we know. We are diverse. We attract, welcome, affirm, love, and celebrate whoever shows up. The spectrum of diversity is here. People of all ages and races and religious backgrounds and gender expression and relationship lifestyles and economic situations and all levels of personal healing and self-awareness. We judge no one. And you don't have to pretend to be somebody else to feel like you can belong here, because we're weaving this beautiful tapestry of people together, and your unique and creative and colorful and beautiful thread makes us complete. We need it for our full expression. And we wear name tags to foster meeting new people and having meaningful conversations. And members get one of our fancy pants name tags. I love it. It's fun when we call them fancy pants name tags. And that leads to another thing. We have fun together. We have fun together in lots of ways so that belonging feels real and authentic. You know, the leaders, we came up with this idea of F3 events, F's meaning food and friendship and fun. Because when we come together and do those three things, we just have so much fun. And we bunko and we line dance and we cheer on the Bucks and we played Greek Olympics and we've eaten more pizza and lasagna than is legal. And laughter is genuinely a part of almost everything we do, including our Sunday services. That was what the leadership team said. We laugh. We laugh. So I think those basic descriptions really talked about the first two things you need to know about a place, the people and the customs. But I argue that the third question is the biggest and the most personally important. Let's revisit the information we want to know when we consider if a place is good for us on every level. I hope we know ourselves to be a place that could possibly be good for you on every level. Your mind, your heart, your body, and your soul. We know ourselves to be a beautiful place where the spirit of light and love shows up every time we come together here. You know, so many people tell me when they first come the first time, there's the word home that they say, I don't know, it just feels like home. And they tell us that they can tell this is a good place with good people. And they feel safe here. They use the word safe. And we trust that you see and experience God's stuff being expressed in this community, right? Individuals feel that goodness here. And they also talk about their homes and their lives out there feeling like those big words, joyful, peaceful, loving. What we do here makes a difference in their lives out there. So let me talk about the year ahead in this little town you've found yourself in. In 2026, our community is going to be claiming higher ground for ourselves as a group and leading every individual to claim higher spiritual territory for themselves. That's our theme for next year, claiming higher ground. And we hope you want to do this with us because we want you to feel this new place where the road has brought you to be a good place and start hanging out and unpacking with us. And we can predict that 2026 will be inspiring and incredible because we already know what we did together in 2025, right? I always like to say we blew the sunroof off of our road trip. Like there is no sunroof anymore. We studied the 5 types of wealth, right? And we all learned how to make a difference in our own lives in those ways. We calendared classes on radical self-love and changing your thinking and spiritual economics and the writings of Ernest Holmes. We volunteered at Paint Your Heart Out, Tampa Bay, and the Humane Society, and Trinity Cafe, just to name a few. So many memories and growth and laughter. So let's tie all this together, 2025 and 2026. Both of them are parts of the campaigns that we are closing out this year with, gratitude and love. And we're going to kick off this new year with intention. So our love and appreciation end of the year campaign and the membership drive, they both kick into gear today. So we're going to begin our celebration of these campaigns after service today, and we're going to continue that celebration every Sunday in December. So after we volunteered to spruce up the center, there are a couple of you that signed up to put up the tree of belonging. That's going to be right here. And we're going to start decorating it with symbolic love and appreciation next Sunday. And here is how it works. First, we're going to hang red tags of celebration. They look like this, all over the tree of belonging. All right? So remember last year we hung purple balls and we ran out of the purple ornaments. And the year before we hung gold stars. So this is the symbol of that. So whenever anyone uses the QR code and the final red tag of appreciation campaign, our end of the year fundraiser, we're going to hang a red tag for every $100 given. And we're going to gratitude the heck out of 2025 together. So I invite you to be part of this red tag of celebration and appreciation for your spiritual home. Second, we're going to look ahead at 2026. As we've been talking about, membership campaigns is happening. We want you to claim higher spiritual ground with us. So submit a membership form. And when you do that, Rebecca is going to make a white tag of love just for you with your name on it like that. And we have a station where you can make this your own, all the stickers and markers and whatever to make it your own, and you will hang your membership tag on the tree when you're ready to do that. And if you've already filled out a membership form, because I know lots of you have, you will have your tags to decorate starting next Sunday as well. And there'll be lots of red tags, lots of white tags, and then we have one more tag, and that's gold. So part of the membership form is where you indicate your 2026 giving. And what I want to say about that is I want you to think of it as giving thanks in advance. It's our 4th step of affirmative prayer. We give thanks in advance. So when you claim your spiritual ground, you're giving thanks in advance. You're thanking me, the board, the practitioners, the musicians, everything that happens here in advance, and so that we can make plans. So the gold tag of appreciation is going to represent your gratitude in advance in your monthly giving. Your giving amount's going to be on the tag, but not your name, so we'll be able to give running totals, and the board will get great joy in hanging those on the tree. So as a community, we need all of these elements to set us up for the best year, to claim that higher spiritual ground and expansion. And we envision more beautiful people coming to join us as we expand in the new year, settling into our town, joining us on this sacred quest for personal growth, wearing your fancy pants name tags. And we also invite everyone who already has one of those name tags to come in more often and be part of us in the year ahead as we claim spiritual ground. So we want to close this year with a deep flow of gratitude and appreciation for all the gifts we received and the blessings that have been showered to you. Man, I love this ground where we are today. So strong. We're so connected. We're so confident together. I love the ground of consciousness and awareness where we live right now as individuals and a community. We're on the road of gratitude and acceptance and forgiveness together. And I want to claim this higher spiritual ground as we prepare to claim higher ground as we climb that spiritual staircase next year. So I hope each and every one of you will choose to be with us again in January and go claim some spiritual ground for yourself. What do you want to claim in the new year? What do you want this new town to be like for you? Be thinking about that, because Spirit is waiting for your sacred intention to be spoken, and you're going to have many opportunities to do that intention setting in community with others living similarly. So thank you in advance for your love, your generosity, and for choosing CSLTB, our special little town, as your place. Will you pray with me? Here is what I know. What I know is that love shows up in this place, this little town that we have built together. This place that is welcoming and loving. This place where Spirit shows up as inspiration, as music, as kindness, as connection, as love. It's here. And I am so very grateful. I'm grateful for each and every one in this community. I'm grateful for the future ahead, and I'm grateful for the foundation we stand on today. I know that as we learn more, we grow. We are inspiring to others, and we are a light. We are a place of light and love, and for that, I give great thanks. I release my word and let it go. And so it is. And so it is.